welcome back to my channel. It is Carrie from Coffee and Crafts, and today is my first color along. Today we will be using the Derwent 12 set watercolor pencils and Joanna Basford's Lost Ocean. What else do we need? We need a brush, right, for watercolor, if we're going to be doing watercolor. So I'm using this Grumbacher size number 2, which is very small. That's the size I'm going to do. It's a synthetic pencil. I recommend a synthetic pencil so that you don't have a large amount of water being held in your brush. The natural fibers tend to hold a lot of water, and since this is a coloring book, it is not a watercolor paper. We want to be limited on our water. Okay, so what else do we need? We need water. So I have 2 jars that I call my clean water and my dirty water. So I dip my brush into the dirty water to get excess paint off. Then I dip it into the clean water to make sure I got everything. All right. You might need a sharpener. You always want to work with sharp pencils. What else? To pick your colors, you might want a little color wheel. So I am using complementary colors. Let's just open this up and I'll show you what pencils I'm going to use. So I am using 2 blues and an orange. Let's see, what are the official colors? This blue, the lighter blue, is Spectrum Blue number 32. The dark blue is Prussian Blue number 35. And this kind of red-orange is Deep Vermilion number 14. Now, why did I pick these colors? Well, when you're looking at the color wheel, a good way to do it is to use the complementary colors. So what does that mean? Complementary means that it's directly across from each other. So blue and orange would complement each other, green and red complement each other, yellow and violet complement each other. So they're directly across. So one way that I kind of remember, and this is kind of silly, but okay, so you got your red and you got your blue, right? Okay, let's say red and blue are sitting at a table across from each other. And blue says, "Oh, red, you look quite attractive." And then red sees blue across from the table and says, "Oh, blue, you are quite handsome." "Oh, well, thank you." And then they get together and they look good together. So that might be a silly way of helping you to remember. Okay, so that's kind of how you use the color wheel. There's a ton of information on here. I highly recommend you pick up a color wheel, and we can talk about color theory a little bit as we go along. Okay, so let's go to the page that we're going to color along today. So I started with this fish to see if I like the colors, and I do. So this light blue here is right here in this ring, and then this orange is right here. All right, let's do another fin. So we're just gonna take a a sharp spectrum blue, and we're just gonna light pressure. We're just gonna color like it's a colored pencil. And we're not worrying about lighting. We're doing what they call basing, where you just do a light, even layer across the page, and then later you can come back with another medium for shading. And that kind of helps with the process, speeding up the process, not hurting your hand, and it's pretty. So I'm just very lightly coloring in deep vermilion. And I do have a limited palette. If I had a full set of Derwent watercolor pencils, I might have chosen different colors, but I think these are pretty together. Okay. Now just that by itself, it looks pretty just by itself, just using colored pencil. But if you zoom in, you can kind of tell the difference. It's a little bit different feel. It feels more colored in on the lower fin than on this upper fin, and it fills in some of the white space. This feels more solid, so that might be why you would want to do some watercolor as your base. So let's go ahead and watercolor. What did I do with my brush? Oh, here it is. Okay, found my brush. And I have my water here. Oh, I forgot one tool that is really expensive, but it is absolutely necessary. Okay, are you ready for this? A paper towel. A paper towel. So you probably have one in your kitchen, but a paper towel is very useful when you're watercoloring, and I will show you why. So we'll go ahead and keep this paper towel nice and handy right here. We'll go ahead and dip our brush in water and tap off the excess. Sometimes water hangs out at the base of your brush, so make sure there's no big drips. So our brush is damp, not wet. Damp, not dripping. So there is a bit of water on there. So we're just going to run our brush, and you can see that it's picking up the pigment and pushing it along and filling in that white space and giving it a nice painted look and a nice backdrop. Okay, and we're going to dip our brush, especially if we're changing colors. We want to dip our brush. I can always see a little bit of water at the end. And then we're just going to take our brush, and we're going for a nice even layer because we're basing. We're getting an undercoat. And then we'll come back with markers or pencils and do some highlights and shading. If you want to, some people like to just do, this is what they call straight coloring or flat coloring, where there isn't any shading. It's just all one layer, and that's fine too. You are the artist. It is your interpretation of how you see the page, and if that's how you like to color, if shading and lighting is hard for you, that's okay. And I think the Joanna Basford's, the super detailed books, lend itself to flat coloring because it's not always a scene where you can figure out, okay, where is my lighting? Okay, so that one actually came out a little brighter than this first one, and I think it's because I had put a different color down and wasn't sure what I wanted to do. All right, so go ahead with the next one. Light pressure. Okay, now we're ready for our brush. And dip it in the dirty and then the clean. Dab any excess. And now we're ready to brush. That looks pretty. It gives it, I like the watercolor, it gives it a very relaxed feel. Let's see, how does the screen look? Okay, do this one down below. So we'll take our blue, do this one. And just very light pressure. Sometimes you have to remind yourself not to press too hard. And let the water do the work for you. It's okay to slow down and think about what color things should be if you're not sure. Alright, let's come back with the water. Now you could color the whole page and then water it later. It's totally up to you. But when you're changing colors, it's a good idea to rinse. So that you're not muddying up your colors. Incidentally, if you mix blue and red together, or orange, you're most likely gonna get brown. So if you mix any color that's a complement, too much love is a bad thing. And they turn brown, melancholy. But yeah, I just love the softness of watercolor. Okay, we've done a few of these now. How are we feeling about the paper? Is it bleeding through? It is not bleeding through. I can, however, feel a slight warping, not much, but a slight warping in the paper. It's hardly noticeable at all. And that is because I am using a very small amount of water. You run it across my finger, like the water's there, but it's a very small amount. So yeah, you may get some warping, especially if you were to do this whole background in watercolor, you would definitely get some warping, but I don't think we're gonna do that. I'm kind of thinking we might use either markers or pastel for the background. I'm not sure. Alright, let's do another one. Let's do this one right here. Okay. Okay, I don't want to do too much. Get our paper towel there. Dip our brush. Get rid of all that excess water. And then we'll run the blue. Just pushing the pigment along. Hoping it relax. Okay. And now the orange. Oh, that's really looking pretty. I like it. All right, let's go ahead and color this one. Another fun thing that you could do on these fish is maybe some jelly roll pins or maybe some metallic paint would be fun. Make it sparkle. I do have some jelly roll pins, but I haven't tried them yet. Using this pen real lightly gives it kind of a coral feel to it. You really don't need to dip your brush in the water very much. A little bit goes a long way. And that's what we want. We don't want a lot of water on the page. Yeah, I really like how this is coming out. I think light is the key. Start light. And then if you want to go darker, you can. Okay. And then get these fins in here. This is a really cute image. Right. So I'm going to do both of these blues at the same time, and then I don't have to clean my brush as often. So if you don't like to clean your brush, that's something you could do. Now, if you don't have a steady hand or like small details, not as crazy as me, there's a lot of coloring books out there that are really interesting and cool looking that aren't as small of details. So just because I'm doing Joanna Basford doesn't mean you have to. There's a lot of coloring books out there. I have a couple. I have a few, but not tons. You can get a good quality coloring book for not very much, especially if it's been released for a while, it's older. Amazon sells them for pretty cheap. Yeah, that's looking good. Alright, well, we've been coloring for about 30 minutes. So that was about how long I wanted to show you, and also show that you don't have to spend hours and hours at this hobby. If you don't have a lot of time, you can spend 30 minutes in the evening or the morning. It's a nice way to relax, de-stress, which is very important. Self-care is the best care. That's what I always say. Well, thanks for joining me on my first color along. Let me know in the comments what kind of mediums you would like me to try. Let's check the water. Yeah, no bleed and no damage to the paper. So a lot of people treat the paper, but I really think that if you're using colored pencil and a brush, that you really don't need to do that. Alright, if you liked the video, please like the video. If you would like to see more content like this, please subscribe, hit that bell, and let me know in the comments what kind of adult coloring mediums that you would enjoy seeing here on the channel. Everybody enjoy their day and happy coloring.